You understand why you've been obsessed with people who hurt you. You know why you keep attracting avoidant partners. But now you're probably thinking, okay, so how do I actually change this? How do I stop feeling chemistry with people who are wrong for me and start being attracted to people who are actually good for me?
If you're tired of understanding your patterns but still living them, this video is for you. Today, we're giving you 5 concrete steps to rewire your brain to recognize and attract secure love. Because insight without action just keeps you stuck in the same cycle, but with better vocabulary.
Hi, we're Tehrina and Joel Terry. We're licensed therapists here to help you heal from anxious attachment, stop chasing unavailable love, and build the secure relationships and community you deserve.
Today, we're sharing the practical roadmap for rewiring your attraction patterns so you can finally experience the calm, consistent love that you've been searching for.
The first step is getting crystal clear about your specific core wound because you can't heal what you can't see. Your core wound is like a compass that has been pointing you toward familiar pain instead of genuine love.
Think of core wounds as deeply held beliefs about yourself and relationships that were formed early in life. Common ones include I'm not enough, I'm too much, love isn't safe, I have to earn love, or people always leave.
Here's how to identify yours. Think about your last few relationships or dating experiences. Now think about what's the story you tell yourself about why they didn't work. Do you usually conclude that you weren't interesting enough? You were too needy, not attractive enough, too intense? That story you tell yourself, that is your core wound talking. For me, my core wound was people don't stay, right as Da Vinci jumps down. So I was unconsciously attracted to people, and evidently cats, who felt like they were already halfway out the door. My nervous system thought, this feels like love because love has always involved the threat of abandonment.
Once you identify your core wound, pay attention to how it shows up in your attraction patterns. If your wound is I'm not enough, notice if you're drawn to people who are hard to impress or make you feel like you have to prove yourself. If your wound is I'm too much, notice if you're attracted to people who seem overwhelmed by emotional expression or intimacy.
Write this down. My core wound is blank. And this core wound attracts me to people who blank. So, for example, my core wound is that I have to earn love, and this core wound attracts me to people who love me with conditions I'm always working to meet. Having this clarity is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. Step 2 is literally learning how to recognize secure behaviors, because if you've never experienced it, you might not even know what it looks like. Your nervous system needs to be trained to notice green flags, not just red ones.
Secure behavior includes things like consistent communication, direct and honest conversation about feelings and needs, the ability to repair after conflict, respecting boundaries without drama, and showing up reliably without needing to be chased or convinced.
But here's what's tricky. When you first encounter secure behavior, it might feel boring, too easy, or even suspicious. One of my clients said, when someone texts me back consistently, I think something's wrong with them. It's like, I think I want someone who's really into me, but then if it happens, I don't trust it. That's your nervous system not recognizing security as love.
Start paying attention to how you feel around different types of people. Notice if you feel calm and relaxed, or if you feel anxious and activated. Contrary to what movies tell us, healthy love should feel like coming home to yourself, not losing yourself in intensity.
I want you to start a security journal. When you interact with people, friends, dates, coworkers, notice who makes you feel seen, heard, and valued without you having to perform for it. Notice who you can be authentically yourself around. These are your green flag people, and your nervous system needs to learn that this is what love actually looks like.
Also, pay attention to people who can disagree with you without attacking you, who can give you space without disappearing, and who can celebrate your wins without making it about themselves. These are secure behaviors that might feel foreign at first, but represent healthy relationship dynamics.
Step 3 might be the hardest one. It's learning to tolerate feeling safe. If you're used to anxiety and uncertainty in relationships, security can actually feel uncomfortable at first. Your nervous system might interpret calmness as boredom or lack of chemistry.
And this is where you need to understand the difference between chemistry and activation. What many people call chemistry with avoidant partners is actually just their nervous system being activated by familiar patterns. Real chemistry with secure people feels different. It's warm, calm, and energizing rather than anxious and consuming.
When I started dating Joel, I'd already done my healing work. I'd identified my must haves and deal breakers and created my relationship vision. So I recognized how amazing he was from the start. But I'll never forget one of my girlfriends who was used to more intense relationship dynamics. She said something to me like, "But where's the excitement? Where's the passion?" She was basically implying that I was settling for something boring because my relationship felt peaceful instead of chaotic.
Practice this. When you're around someone who feels safe and secure, instead of interpreting that calm feeling as no spark, try reframing it as this is what my nervous system feels like when it's not in survival mode. Security might feel unfamiliar, but unfamiliar doesn't mean wrong.
Start small. Practice receiving consistent kindness from friends or family members without waiting for the other shoe to drop. Practice believing people when they say nice things about you instead of looking for hidden meanings. Your nervous system needs evidence that safety is real before it will let you be attracted to secure partners. Now we need to work with those parts of you that keep choosing familiar pain over unfamiliar love. Remember, these parts aren't trying to sabotage you. They're trying to protect you using strategies that made sense in childhood but don't serve you now.
The part that's attracted to avoidant partners usually carries a burden. Maybe the belief that you have to earn love through suffering, or that love without struggle isn't real love. This part needs compassion, not criticism.
Here's a practical exercise. When you notice yourself attracted to someone who displays red flags, pause and ask yourself, what part of me is attracted to this person? What is this part hoping to prove or heal? And instead of judging that part, get curious about what it needs. For example, if you're attracted to someone who's hot and cold, you might ask that part, what are you hoping will happen if we can win this person over? The part might say, then we'll finally prove we're worthy of consistent love. Then you can respond with, I understand you're trying to heal our wound, but this person isn't capable of giving us the consistent love we need.
You can also work with the part that feels safer with distant partners. This part might be afraid of being truly seen and rejected. You can acknowledge this part by saying, I understand you're trying to protect us from the pain of being fully known and potentially rejected. But keeping people at arm's length is also keeping us from the love we actually want.
The goal isn't to get rid of these parts. It's to help them understand that you have other options now. You can reassure them that you're capable of handling rejection from secure people because secure people reject kindly, and you're capable of recognizing your worth even when someone can't see it. The final step is creating a clear vision of what secure love actually looks like so that your nervous system has something specific to move toward instead of just avoiding what you don't want.
Most people can tell you what they don't want in relationships, but they struggle to articulate what they do want. Your brain needs a clear target to aim for, and not avoidant isn't specific enough.
So start by imagining how you want to feel in a healthy relationship. Do you want to feel seen, valued, cherished, supported, safe to be yourself? Get specific about the emotional experience you're seeking, not just the behaviors. Then think about what daily life looks like with a secure partner. How do they handle conflict? How do they communicate their needs? How do they show love and appreciation? How do they support your dreams and goals? Create a detailed picture of secure love in action. This isn't about creating an unrealistic fantasy. It's about giving your nervous system clear examples of security to recognize. When you know what secure love looks like, feels like, and sounds like, you'll start noticing it when it shows up, just as I did with Joel and this little guy. I also want you to start embodying the secure partner you want to attract. How does a secure partner handle dating anxiety? How do they communicate their needs? How do they respond to conflict? By you becoming more secure yourself, you're tapping into the most powerful way to attract secure love.
Here's what you need to know about rewiring. This process takes time because you're literally changing neural pathways that have been reinforced for years or decades. Be patient with yourself and celebrate small wins.
You might notice that your first response is still to feel attracted to unavailable people. But now you have that second thought that questions that attraction. That's progress. You might find yourself feeling bored with secure people initially, but then reminding yourself that that boredom might actually be peace, and that's growth.
The rewiring happens through experience, not just insight. You need to have repeated positive experiences with secure people, friends, family members, eventually romantic partners, to teach your nervous system that security is safe and desirable.
Don't expect to wake up tomorrow feeling completely different about attraction. Instead, look for subtle shifts, feeling slightly less anxious with consistent people, noticing red flags faster, feeling less compelled to chase unavailable people, or finding yourself drawn to people who are kind and reliable.
Dr. Rick Hansen's research on neuroplasticity shows that our brains remain changeable throughout our lives, but rewiring deeply ingrained patterns requires intentional, repeated practice. The neural pathways associated with attraction patterns were formed through hundreds or thousands of experiences, so changing them requires consistent new experiences. Studies by Dr. Daniel Siegel demonstrate that mindfulness practices can literally change the structure of the brain, including areas responsible for emotional regulation and social bonding. This is why paying attention to your attraction patterns without judgment is so crucial for change. Dr. Sue Johnson's research on attachment reveals that our nervous systems can learn to recognize security as attractive, but it requires what she calls corrective emotional experiences. That's repeated interactions with securely attached people that challenge our existing beliefs about love and relationships. Neuroscientist Joe Dispenza's work shows that changing ingrained patterns requires both clear intention and elevated emotion. This is why creating a detailed vision of secure love while feeling the emotions you want to experience in that relationship is so powerful for rewiring. And most importantly, research by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk demonstrates that trauma and attachment wounds are stored in the body, not just the mind. This means that healing attraction patterns requires somatic practices, learning to feel safe in your body with secure people, not just understanding the concept intellectually.
So let's get to the heart of it. Rewiring your brain to attract secure love isn't about forcing yourself to be attracted to people who feel boring or wrong for you. It's about healing the wounds that make emotional unavailability feel like love in the first place. This process requires patience with yourself because you're not just changing who you're attracted to, you're changing your entire understanding of what love looks like, feels like, and sounds like. And that's profound, life-altering work that doesn't happen overnight. So please be gentle with yourself if secure people still feel unfamiliar, or if you still feel drawn to unavailable partners sometimes. Your nervous system is learning a new language, the language of safety. And like any new language, it takes practice before it becomes fluent. What I want you to remember is that you're not broken for having these attraction patterns. They made sense given your experiences, but you're not stuck with them forever. Your nervous system is incredibly adaptable, and it wants to move toward what's actually good for you once it learns what that looks like. The most beautiful part of this journey is that as you heal your core wounds and build your capacity for security, you don't just attract different partners, you become a different partner. You become someone who can receive love without suspicion, give love without depletion, and build relationships based on genuine compatibility rather than familiar wounding. Your future self, the one in a secure, loving relationship, is cheering you on right now. Every step you take toward healing these patterns is a step toward the love you truly deserve. And that love is coming, not because you've become perfect, but because you've become whole.
If you haven't already, please check out our free Anxiety versus Intuition guide. It's perfect for this rewiring process. It helps you distinguish between your gut instincts about people and your attachment anxiety, which is crucial when you're learning to recognize secure partners. What's one step from today's video that feels most important for your healing journey? Let us know in the comments. Your commitment to growth inspires this whole community.
Up next, we're doing a deep dive into trauma bonding versus real love, because so many of you have been asking how to tell the difference between genuine connection and that intense but unhealthy bond that keeps you hooked on the wrong person.
Your time is valuable. Thank you for sharing some of it with us today. If you found this helpful, please give it a like, and if you know someone who's ready to break their attraction patterns, please share this video. It could be the roadmap they need.
And if you're ready to start creating your secure love vision like I did before meeting Joel, grab our free must-haves and deal breakers guide in the description. It walks you through identifying your authentic relationship needs versus what your wounds are seeking. And we even made a video to show you exactly how to use it.
Subscribe and take care of your heart. And remember, you're not alone. We're all in this
Together.